All right, everyone, it's your boy Fernie here, back with another new Cryptids and Monsters video. Once again, I'm doing a new suggestions from the suggestions video, and this one has to do with a quote-unquote cryptid, even though it really isn't, that is featured there in Yellowstone. But I still wanted to talk about it here because it does have some fascinating information, and it's a real location, and you can go visit there in Yellowstone and see this quote-unquote cryptid in action. But there's also some other information I wanted to share about Yellowstone all around, some interesting tidbits that I found. And then that way, if you plan on going to that location sometime in the future, you could have all this info in mind whenever you go see it. But it has to do with this. You're looking at a representation of it now. It's known as the Yellowstone dragon. So let's go ahead and let's share all the information associated with this cryptid. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on it as well. Let me know. Some of you maybe have already visited Yellowstone and visited these locations. Let me know in the comments. So here's all this info. So this Yellowstone dragon, first off, again, is not actually a dragon. It's not a cryptid. It's not a monster. It's not anything physical in terms of any kind of animal at all. Instead, what it is, it's a cave that's found there in Yellowstone National Park. This is that huge park there that's located in here, the United States, and it has so many interesting locations that you can go visit to this very day. Some of you, again, may have already been there before, but this cave actually stirs something within it that people found to be very reminiscent of an ancient dragon. And here's what it means. This is a cave that has only been around for less than 100 years. Apparently sometime in 1948, there in an area called Mud Volcano. Sometime around that time period, there was a small explosion. Something had essentially just released itself from within the confines there of the earth. It was enough pressure, in other words, to cause a small explosion, create a cave, and then also have a little roof on top of it. And ever since then, this location there, if you time it to a certain time period, you'll be able to hear the noise of a quote-unquote dragon. This is because within that cave itself, there's strong gases and strong steams that come from some spring deep within it. And eventually, at some point, there's enough pressure to cause bubbles to basically come out of the cave itself. And on top of that, it has some type of willow whispery type steam or smoke that comes out of that dragon, and on top of that, it creates a sound that's more along the lines of both a booming and a gurgling noise. So if you mix all those together and you happen to be standing nearby that area, lo and behold, it'll almost look like there's a dragon that's stirring from deep within the cave, almost as if it's waking up, or it's finding out something, or it's about to come outside, anything along those lines. And when that happens, you think that there really is a real life mystical creature deep within that cave. Fascinating stuff, right? This is almost along the lines of Lord of the Rings and Smaug, the idea that you have something of a very, very large dragon living within that cave, and who knows when it might come out afterwards. But again, there is no actual creature. There's nothing along those lines. This is just a natural creation, a natural wonder, a phenomenon that's once again found within that beautiful, beautiful park. In fact, if you truly wanted to classify this location, it really is nothing more than a hot spring, one of the other many hot springs that is found there again within Yellowstone. That would be pretty neat. I gotta confess, if you want to, if I ever go there to that location, that would be one of the first places that I would go visit, just because you could film what it sounds like and looks like. I'm sorry, what sounds like and almost looks like something on the lines of a dragon within that cave. Pretty fascinating stuff. If anybody has been there already before and has seen it in person, this mud volcano, this Yellowstone dragon within that area, it has another name too. I believe it's called the Black Dragon Cauldron. Then let me know. Post those comments below as well. Now, as a bonus, I also wanted to mention some other interesting things associated there in Yellowstone. Apparently, ghosts, quote unquote ghosts, roam around that location too. This only happens though whenever the weather there in Yellowstone turns really, really cold. Apparently, that steam, that hydrothermal steam that happens throughout multiple parts of the park, whenever it comes out, it starts to cover some nearby trees. And whenever that happens, it causes these steam and the water on the trees to freeze, and it creates almost like a ghostly coat of some sort on the trees themselves. They've been known as ghostly trees, even though, of course, much like the dragon, they're nothing of the sort. Instead, it's just another interesting natural phenomenon that's associated there. And then if you wanted to hear about some other interesting tidbits there in Yellowstone, so we all know that there's a set of animals there that are carnivorous, but did you know that there's also plants that are there as well that are carnivorous? So these are plants that are known to catch and trap anything involving mosquitoes, anything involving fleas, and others. So these plants are another sort of interesting phenomenon, interesting plants that are there within Yellowstone as well. It'd be interesting to see them in action if you ever get close enough to one. You just got to be really, really careful as well. There was something else that I saw that I already talked about in the past. It was a little while back. If you look on my channel and click the search option, you'll be able to find it there. But it's known as the lake music. This is that strange music slash humming sound that people tend to hear there around Yellowstone Lake. So again, another form of natural phenomenon, but it takes on an almost eerie type of appearance. So the idea that people can hear music or some version of nameless music just playing around the park itself, whenever obviously there's nothing there that should be creating it in terms of actual music, but it sounds like it. That's just what makes it another interesting point associated with Yellowstone. But that's pretty much it. That's all the information associated with this video. Again, not a actual cryptid, not a monster, but if you ever wanted to get as close as possible to the sound of one, at least the closest mimicry of one, then go there to Yellowstone Lake and you'll find the quote-unquote Yellowstone dragon that is there too. But if anybody has any more info, anything else I might have missed, then please post those comments below. All right, everyone. Thanks again as always. Take care.